Hi, I am Anthony Bond, and I am here with the creator and some of the cast members of 30 that's on WatchVIM, and this is WatchVIM Insider, where we're going to be talking about the shows that we have on our platform and meeting with some of the actors and creators in it. So today we are talking about a show titled 30, as you can see, which is based off of this book by Mr. Dante Morrison titled The End of the Rainbow. And as you can see, all of my bookmarks are in it.
Right.
And we have some of the cast members that are tuning in now via Zoom who are not able to be here. So let's go ahead and jumpstart and get into it.
So this conversation is really going to unpack 30, the making of 30, and what the actors felt about the experience and how they related to the storyline. Also, just wrap it up with why you should be watching 30. So in studio, we have with us Mr. Brandon Moulton. Virtually, we have Dustin Baker, Musique Cooks, and DeMarco Majors, who are all phenomenal members of the cast. We're going to get their buy-in, their take, and their experience working not only with the WatchVIM crew, but working with each other, and just why it's so important to support independent filmmakers. So let's start with Brandon, because you're here with us.
Yes.
So Brandon, who did you play in 30?
Well, I play Tyron. I am one half of I guess you could call them a power couple.
Mm-hmm. You
Yeah,
can't
we'll
call
call-
them. They
we'll
are a
them
power couple.
Yeah. So I'm one half of a power couple that gets hit with a very life-changing situation. I'll just leave it at that.
Cool. All right, let's jump over to B Musique. So B Musique, you play who, and how you play who? How'd you feel about playing this character?
So I play a character by the name of Khalil. And Khalil is very pivotal in the story of 30. It really takes a look into his life and his journey coming from one space, like in love, and it also kind of deals with his background from a religious space. How did I feel about playing this character? There was some parts about the character that I can connect to as far as his faith. And those other parts that were more challenging. But yeah, I love Khalil and it was an honor to play him.
So basically, you and Brandon are the power couple that really make this train move forward. But the train could not move without the support of its other two very strong lead characters. You know, we got Dustin and we got DeMarco. So let's start with DeMarco. DeMarco, you play the character that people either love or hate. So tell us more about him.
I play Craig, Tyron's cousin. And yeah, you either love or hate Craig. I believe Craig is misunderstood. He's a good, loyal guy. He's just a little messy and rough around the edges.
Very much. Messy.
And then speaking of messy, let's bring in Dustin Baker and the character that he plays. So Dustin, tell us about who you play.
I play Darren. One of my favorite parts of this character is the fact that he's a traditional Christian who bumps into so many different elements of our LGBT culture. And so to have him to be so desperate in what he needs and to be able to give so much drama in a traditional heterosexual way, he kind of turns the story out. So it's kind of fun to watch. I kind of see my dad in it. So.
Wow, and we're gonna unpack that a little bit later because that's very important because I love the relatability that basically all of you said about the characters that you're doing. But right now I want to go to Anthony Bond, who basically took my book and scripted it. You know, so Anthony, as you went through the writing process, because you've scripted and produced a lot of series, all on WatchVIM, by the way.
Right.
How did it feel, you know, turning my story, The End of the Rainbow, into a series like 30?
Honestly, to be truthful, this is the first time I ever did an adaptation. This project. I've never had to read a book and then make it into a series. But honestly, as I read the book, it was so easy. Like everything that was in that book, the stories, the situations that went on, it was easily how I transferred it from the book to the script. It was like a no-brainer. I told you several times, I was like, oh my gosh, this did not happen. Did this really happen?
Right.
And you was like, yeah, it happened. every time I got to a different chapter, like it blew me away. And I text you every moment
Right.
I was done like reading the chapter. So this is my first time doing it, and I love the fact that all of you guys really you really took it there acting wise. Like you were raw, especially Bobby. Like you were so raw and authentic with playing the character of Khalil that I sometimes I just was like, okay. I was telling you, I said sometimes I'm a little nervous because I have a tendency of trying to make sure that actors don't go too far over the edge, and you got to leave that room to come back and pull yourself in, because that can be dangerous psychologically.
Right,
Yeah.
right, definitely. Yeah. And Brandon, your character Tyron is not the typical gay character that we see on TV or media, because one thing about 30, we tried not to have the stereotype. And we tried to show the authenticity that can be found in gay relationships, especially Black gay relationships. So playing Tyron, someone that was not what society normally sees when they think of Black gay, how did that feel for you playing this individual?
Well, I felt responsibility for a community to show, all different facets, because like you said, there's stereotypes out there of Black gay men, especially in the time period that this story kind of happened in.
Right.
Stereotypes are really out there about that. Now we kind of see a little bit more variation, but I guess just responsibility. I wanted to make sure that it was an adequate depiction of that type of person.
No, I love that. I love that. And then DeMarco, of course, you give us the heterosexual. You and Dustin give us the heterosexual characters and that aggressive, I don't want to say toxic masculinity, but just that approach to being a Black man in America. However, like you alluded to, your straight character was also one of the messiest characters, amongst all this gayness. So how did playing Craig, really create for you, shift the narrative and the perception of what messy looks like?
Well, to be honest with you, Greg's messiness doesn't come from like a typical messiness. It's for his love for his cousin. So anything that gets in the way of the love for his cousin and what they were trying to do, he was completely against. And so when you really dive into his character, he's just trying to figure it out. Like he's never really been around a lot of people in the community, in the LGBT community. So he's trying to figure out because he's care for his cousin, he's trying not to be, because he doesn't know the right way to speak. He doesn't know the right vernacular. He doesn't know, what the right words to be saying. So when he's really in it, it comes off a little as messy.
I love that you said that his approach is from a place of love.
Right.
Okay. and speaking of that, Dustin, your character is the diehard Christian, the straight Christian, and kind of how DeMarco just said, Craig's approach and understanding comes from a place of love. What we can also say is many Christians who have skewed perceptions of the LGBT community, they feel that's rooted in love. And you shared how playing this character kind of tied in with some of your own personal experiences. If you don't mind, can you unpack that a little bit?
Yeah, I come from a family of preachers. Father is a pastor, grandfather is a bishop, things like that. And so I can relate with that heterosexual toxic Christian energy, masculine energy, where, gay is just wrong, dark, is always associated with sin or pain. And I saw in this character, as I saw with my father at some points in my life, him trying to lean into with curiosity, but still beating up the characters with Christian ideals, and in some ways keeping them in bondage, in terms of, you're gay, the world doesn't understand you, we're not trying to understand you, you're nasty, and you need to come to Christ. And that was some of the energy that my character was given these two main characters. And so they really had to lean on each other with my toxicity of that I'm giving to them. Like, I don't like you because you're gay, but I'm only caring about one thing, and that's this kid. And so I really, really saw my dad do that. He did that a lot in trying to figure out his son's sexuality, as well as trying to be a dad in its perfect or imperfect posture. I just took his energy. So when you see that fight scene, that's my dad right there.
I love it. I love it. Anthony?
Yeah. So I just have a question this is open the floor for everybody. So out of all the projects that you have done and you've associated yourself with, like, how does this project line up to the other stuff that you've done?
Well, I can say for me, it's probably at the top, just because as an actor, I've never had to dive into material that's so different from myself. And I really had to find a space, to figure out that emotion for my character, because without giving too much away, my character finds himself in quite a bind. Yeah. And it upends just about everything in his life. This season hasn't gotten into all of the books, but I'm imagining it's going to upend his life in a professional manner. I'm imagining, we kind of see it in this season that it has an effect on his relationship. Yeah. So I've never been in a situation like that. In my life, most things have stayed intact. Yeah. So I've kind of had to stretch myself and try to find a place for that. So yeah, this would be at the top for me. This has stretched me the most as an actor so far.
Okay. DeMarco?
I would say I would agree with that, and I say that for me, I've always been the nice guy, and I've always been the nice guy or the husband in this or a gay, and this particular person really made me go back into what it was like before coming out and what that looked like, and the perception of what other people's perception was, because I had a close friend that I played pro ball with that was just rough around the edges, very street. We called him New York, like he was crazy. However, as soon as I told him about myself, he immediately started loving on me. And then next thing you know, he disappeared from my life. So this character really was kind of birthed from that type of feeling, like, you don't, he's loyal, he's this, he's that. And so it really made me dig deep into, being a little bit hood and also what it means to be messy.
So
that on a t-shirt with
right. Okay. Bobby, the question that I asked, as I said, out of all the projects that you've associated yourself with, how does this project 30 line up to your other projects that you've done?
Wow. You know what? I actually would not compare it to any other project that I've done. I felt like 30 was something that was unique. It was the first project that I agreed to do that I knew dealt directly with like a social justice issue. And it was something that I felt like I could be an advocate for. So most of the other roles that I've done, it wasn't because like there was any kind of personal connection to it. So 30 definitely, like, obviously I signed on to the project because of Dante and my connection with him. So I think there was an emotional attachment to this one and an emotional investment that I hadn't had in prior projects. So that's how it differs. Yeah.
Nice.
Love it.
Yeah, Dustin?
Yeah, playing to me was nerve-wracking.
Oh, it was a lot.
And I just try to do a good job with it, only because it's one of my dearest friends in life. This is his story. So you really want to make sure that you really put your all into. So I was nervous the whole time. And then when I met you, Anthony, I've heard about you, but I never, I saw your work and knew of you. And I met you the first time. I was just scared. And I remember the first moment I met you, I shook your hand, and I'm like, what am I getting myself into? But it's been such a great ride, and you taught me so much. This character's taught me so much.
Love it. So outside of the deep situations of 30 and the storyline, there's also some gutter moments. There's we got to keep the folks present. So we had to show a little bit of skin. We had to show some parts of relationships and intimacy that the people don't often see amongst Black gay men. However, I was intentional and I was hopeful that we portrayed intimacy in a way that people will find palatable and relatable.
Yes.
So for Brandon and Musique or Bobby, those moments when you had to come together and just create magic in that kind of space, what was going through your mind when comparing to what we normally see when it comes to Black gay intimacy or whatever? What were you trying to create or establish?
I'll start first.
Oh, go ahead, Anthony.
Because Dante knows the type of material that I do. I told him I was so uncomfortable with doing all of the intimate scenes that you guys had. I was so uncomfortable because I have a thing where it's just like, I want to showcase y'all in a great way without having to see everything. But he convinced me that like, no, he said, trust me, these two are really going to give you on camera magic. And you did.
Yeah,
You did. You really did. And the way that we shot it and how it all played out, it was beautiful. Like, I mean, it was very beautiful. We talked about it for 2 weeks afterwards. It was like, oh my gosh, this looks so good. So
amazing.
I was already uncomfortable going into the situation doing it. But yeah, y'all can say it.
Well, I mean, I was comfortable just because I've worked with you before, and I've done scenes like that before and saw how that turned out. So I kind of been around that block before, so there was already a certain level of comfort with that.
Right.
But that was some years ago.
So new year, new you.
When you don't do something on a consistent basis, when you come back around to it, it kind of feels like the first time again.
Yeah.
So I've never had a problem with nudity. When I knew that I wanted to become an actor, that was one of the things I had to make peace with in myself. Like, am I comfortable with showing skin and all that? And I was like, ultimately, yeah, I am. I'm fine with it. I just have to be comfortable and know everything that's gonna happen. Know the scene, what's it for, how does it play a role, and all that kind of stuff. And then I have to decide if it's something I want to do. But doing it, it was a lot. It was a lot. This went further than the previous project that we had worked on.
Yes.
This went further, so it was a lot. But at the end of the day, when we looked at the raw footage after it was just shot, no pun intended. When we looked at the raw footage after it like you said, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Like we just happened upon this amazing lighting that made it just look so much.
Okay.
Like it looked like a music video almost to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Bobby.
You said how was it for me?
Yeah.
I was a piece of cake. Piece of cake. No. Obviously, there were. I mean, that was fine. I was fine. I think that it was more. I was very comfortable on set. Like at this point, it was literally the last thing that we shot in the entire episode. So by this time, I was super comfortable with Brandon. It was literally just you and cameraman and assistant. So it was a very, very small set when we had to shoot. So I was comfortable in the space. I just wanted it to look hot, really. And then I just really just freaked out when I had to watch it back. But during it was easy. Yeah.
I will say that between me and B Music, that also had to be intact too. Like the fact that that was kind of one of the last things that we shot helped it out because we had already had time to build our
rapport.
Rapport.
Yeah.
With each other, and then we had already kind of been a couple at that point, and so when it came time to shoot that, it was easy.
Love it. So knowing,
I said the other thing, during that playback when the music's added, everything looks very, very hot and seamless and all that other stuff. During it, we're like, my leg. So on set, you hear like, just wait. So that's what was actually happening in the room during the time. It was just beautiful lighting, and he shot it very well. So yeah, it was fun. It was easy.
Love it.
So, a question I have for all of you guys. So, outside of the characters that you played in the show, what other character would you have loved to play in the series?
Start with Dustin, because I know who Dustin wants to play. Go, Dustin.
Bye, Brandon. I'm coming for that spot, Brandon. Oh man! But the way you are this role. I'm set when I was watching you go, or even when I was watching you in here, I was like, man, I wish I could do that. Or man, like it was so believable, and the chemistry between the two of you, to feel it through the screen. But that character, his character, Tyron's character to me is me. Personally, I felt like I could slip into the energy of sometimes being aloof, but sometimes being messy. But at the same time, I want to have my cake and eat it too. And the decisions that you made, Brandon, was just creme de la creme. So yeah, I would audition for your role next time, sir.
Well, thank you. And I'll watch myself around.
Right. We all social girls.
Right.
Exactly. DeMarco?
I think, it's the same for me, watching the both of them create that magic and the choices and decisions that they made around how they showed their love for each other, but also how they engaged with one another. I think for me would have been a stretch to play a Khalil because it seems so, when he was in it, he made it seem so effortless, and going from scene to scene to being upset to being malmannered, and then back to the religious part of himself and being able to hold himself in each one of those spaces. It would have been a stretch and fun to play Khalil. I think that would have been a great opportunity.
Love it, love it, love it. Brandon, who would you be?
I'm thinking Eric's character.
Carry on?
Carry on?
Really?
Really? Oh.
Because
you'll be that gay?
Wow, that's acting.
So,
yeah, okay.
For the same reasons that I put this at the top of my list, that would even further stretch me. And then, right. I don't think.
Oh, you want me to write you a gay?
Right, we can make you a gay. We can make you a whole woman.
And then, his character actually had a lot of the comedic moments.
Yeah.
In the scenes. Yes. So I'd like to try to flex my comedic skills and see.
Oh, okay. Nice.
All right.
The joy of WatchVIM.
Right, yeah. Okay.
B Music.
I would love to see you in that character.
Right.
I would love to see you in that.
Yeah. But actually, for me, it probably, like, if I was choosing, I probably would pick Dustin's character. So, you know what? I felt like Khalil was the furthest away from me that I had to, like, I'm grateful everyone was like, you did so good. So that it was like the emotional trauma of my life. But life actually having to live through those moments, because I was like, dang. But luckily I had the direction, Dante's your direction in my ear, like, okay, this is when I'm like, I got you. So I felt like I was gonna advocate for him because I felt him. Dustin Zidarian, he would I think would have made me most comfortable. Khalil made me most uncomfortable. I think Dustin's character would have made me most comfortable.
Got it.
Wow.
Got it.
Interesting.
So knowing that 30 is on WatchVIM, an independently owned streaming platform, it can be kind of difficult to get an audience or to build momentum around it unless you have that financial backing.
Yeah.
So what would you like people to know about the importance of supporting platforms such as WatchVIM?
Well, for me, platforms such as WatchVIM, they provide content that reaches a certain audience that the bigger guys may forget about.
Mhm.
And you have what was it?
I said
Overlook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
overlook. That's a better word actually. So that's why I would say support, because you get content that is more tailored to you and what you want to see. And then you see something different, because like when you go to movies, you go to watch these big network shows. A lot of times you see a retread of stuff that you've already seen.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one of the things I like about WatchVIM and your content is that, you're not doing what everybody else does. You're trying to carve out a market that is specific to you guys.
That's a cute catchphrase. You're not doing what everybody else does. WatchVIM. We're not doing what everybody else does.
I mean,
I love that.
yeah.
I love that.
Yes.
DeMarco, the importance of supporting platforms such as WatchVIM.
Well, one of the main importance to WatchVIM for me that I've been reaching out to my family and sharing is that it's close to home. There's a lot of stories on there that you may not have seen in other places, but there's a lot of stories that relate to you that are on WatchVIM, and you get to see new actors. A lot of the times, a lot of the films and TV shows are saturated with people that you've seen before. So this gives you an opportunity to see new people and attach yourself to new characters and see them in such a way that you may not have seen somewhere else. So on WatchVIM, you get an opportunity to see a very wide array of actors and films and shows that you can see yourself in.
I love that. I
Yes.
love that. Dustin?
WatchVIM is ran by bosses. It's just like that. Like, I believe in Black excellence and putting my dollar back into that. So it's definitely exciting to see. Another thing is you'll see actors start their career here, and you can see how the content is taking them on. How they take on the content versus 5-6 years down the road. So WatchVIM is where it's to be. You'll see a lot of the up and coming or the people who are out there. It's what's up, and that content is not watered down. So check it out. Put it on your phones.
Love it. Love it. B Music.
Yeah, so it's very important. Watching them very important because I'm on it. So if you want to see me, now I'm gonna watch it, man. But I honestly feel like I was serious. I am on it, but I feel like it's very, very important. I feel like I've invested a lot of my energy into this project, and it's one that's super important to me. Like I said before, it's the first project that I did that was social justice. So I think having content that can educate people, that can inform people, that could also get rid of stigmas. I like that it's content for Black people in the LGBTQIA plus community. It's not looked at like a thing. I feel like it's more normalized, having content for people that look like us, that share a wide range of life experiences. So I like the idea of normalizing lifestyles that are different, and I like that. It's important. That's important. So just like Dustin said, supporting Black businesses, and as well as just really normalizing good content and good stories. And overall, the stories are important.
Before I let you guys go, because we're at the end of the interview, I want to do a quick game of Never Have I Ever. I have some questions here that I'm going to read off, and you already know how to play. Everybody familiar with playing Never Have I Ever?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, first question I'm going to say is, Why are you laughing?
I'm just preparing myself.
Okay. All right. Never have I ever Googled myself.
So you raise your hand if you did.
If you raise your hand if you did, you keep your hand down if you have not.
Wait, can you say that again?
Never have I ever Googled myself.
I mean, what if you know, like, okay.
Never have you ever boo-booed on yourself. That one drunk night.
No, not boo boo. I
No,
said
Google.
Google. I said Google yourself. Google yourself. My Lord today. All right, here we go.
Wait, am I understanding the hands? Okay.
Oh,
I
my
did. I was
gosh.
drunk. But go ahead.
Never have I ever gone to a party I wasn't invited to.
No, I've never done that.
No,
You
no.
know. Yeah, I've
Oh.
never done that. If you don't
Okay.
mean I ain't going.
Okay, so here's another one. Never have I ever gone commando.
You've never gone commando?
No, if you get into a car accident or something, when you go to the hospital, you gotta have on clean underwear. No, I always have on underwear.
Start today.
No,
Oh my gosh.
You go to the hospital last thing.
No,
All right, so here's another one. Never have I ever ghosted someone.
Oh, sorry.
I do that every day.
Throw your hand up. Throw your hand up. Thank you.
Never have you ever ghosted, right? So you haven't ghosted.
So you have, if your
And
hand is up, you have
ghosted someone.
Yeah, you have.
Oh, if you have.
If
Yes,
you have
so
ghosted someone, yes.
I'm like, all y'all hands need to be up.
I've never ghosted anybody. Well, I've also been married.
Right,
for
you've been married for like
17
30 years. So.
Yeah. Anyway, never have I ever forgot my lines during the scene.
Oh.
Everybody raise their hands for that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bobby, raise your hand.
Both hands and feet.
Okay, and here's the last one I'll do. Okay, never have I ever met a celebrity.
Oh.
I mean, everybody's met a celebrity.
We're
before.
celebrities.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I love it.
Right.
All that is phenomenal advice about WatchVIM from the cast of 30. So listen, if you've not subscribed to WatchVIM yet, do yourself a favor and subscribe today. The cost is nothing. Well, it is something, but it's nothing. You can afford it. You can afford it.
$5.99 a month.
$5.99 a month, and you
Watch
get premium
them.
content. Premium content. You get to see these guys, some of them naked. So do yourself a favor and check out 30 on WatchVIM, based upon the book The End of the Rainbow by yours truly, Dante Morrison. Anthony, anything you want to say in closing?
Subscribe.
And get it.
Support. And tell somebody.
Tell somebody today.
Right, today. Right.
So shout out to the cast of 30. Thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedules. And season 2 is coming soon. It is in the works. So you all should be getting scripts shortly.
Yes.
Oh.
Thank you guys. Peace.
I just don't understand, son. You were raised in the church. You don't seem to give God the time of day.
Do you think he knows anything?
No, I don't think he does.
How can I make it up to you? I can let you tie me up.
I swear to God, if you keep mentioning that situation,
Or
I'm going.
what? Or fucking what?
Hey, what the fuck is going on? Fuck you! Come on, fuck you! Shit! Get the fuck over here!
Can we just talk about this, please?
Sorry. What did they talk about? You fucking killed me, man.